The Galactic Colosseum of Draxus Prime had seen 1,000 deaths, but never a silence like this. Captain Arland Voss limped through the arena's entrance gate, her left arm hanging useless at her side, blood dripping from a gash across her temple. The wound traced down her cheek like a crimson tear. Her uniform, once the proud grey of the Terran Expeditionary Fleet, was torn and stained. Behind her, the holding cells hummed with the restless energy of caged predators from 100 worlds. She wasn't supposed to be here. Not like this. The amphitheater rose in concentric circles around the sand-covered arena floor, packed with thousands of alien spectators. Krill with their crystalline exoskeletons. Vontae merchants whose tentacles writhed with anticipation. Even a delegation of the proud Iskari, their golden scales glinting under the artificial suns that blazed overhead. They had come for blood sport, for the grand finale of the Sovereign Games. They had come to see Fenrir. Arland pressed her good hand against her ribs, feeling the sharp sting of what might be a fracture. The Draxian guards had been thorough in their questioning. When she'd refused to reveal Earth's defense coordinates, they decided to make an example of her. What better way than to feed a human captain to the monster she herself had brought to their world? The irony would have made her laugh if breathing didn't hurt so much. Across the arena, the largest gate began to rise with a mechanical groan that echoed through the Colosseum. The crowd's roar swelled to a fever pitch. They had waited 3 cycles for this moment, to witness the legendary beast of Terra 7, the creature that had slaughtered an entire krill hunting party, the monster that even the Iskari war knights whispered about in their fortress halls. The darkness beyond the gate shifted. 2 eyes, each the size of a human head, emerged from the shadows. They glowed with an otherworldly blue luminescence, ancient and intelligent. Then came the rest of him. Fenrir was massive, for meters at the shoulder, with fur the color of a starless void that seemed to absorb light itself. His claws, each as long as combat knives, scraped against the stone as he padded forward. The musculature beneath his coat rippled with predatory grace. His muzzle could crush a krill warrior's carapace like brittle glass. Upon his head, between those burning eyes, sat a crown of bone-white horns that curved backward like a demon from humanity's ancient myths. The crowd fell silent. This was what happened when humans found an orphaned pup on an uncharted moon and decided that compassion mattered more than common sense. When the rest of the research team had wanted to put the alien creature down, Arland had made a different choice. She'd fed him from her own rations, slept in his den when he cried out from nightmares, taught him that not all beings with hands meant harm. She'd raised him with love, not chains. With trust, not fear. And now the Draxians expected him to kill her. Fenrir's gaze swept the arena, taking in the crowd, the weapons platforms, the shimmer of energy shields. Then his eyes found her. Those ancient, intelligent eyes that had watched her read reports by lantern light, that had learned to recognize her laugh, that had once looked up at her with complete trust when he was small enough to fit in her arms. He saw the blood. He saw her injuries. He saw her struggling to stand. The sound that came from Fenrir's throat started as a low rumble, like tectonic plates grinding in the depths of a dying world. It built in intensity, growing into a roar that shook the very foundations of the Colosseum. Dust rained from the upper tiers. The energy shields flickered. Several Vanthai spectators recoiled, their translator devices screaming with feedback. But the crowd heard the words clearly, spoken in a voice that carried the weight of ancient pack bonds and primal fury. Who dares draw blood from my mother? The question hung in the air like a death sentence. The Draxian sovereign rose from his box, his segmented armor clicking as he moved. The beast speaks. His voice carried a note of uncertainty that hadn't been there before. Arland felt a smile tug at her split lip despite the pain. You wanted a monster, she said, her voice carrying across the suddenly silent arena. You should have asked what makes humans dangerous. Fenrir moved. Not toward Arland, but toward the sovereign's box. Each step was deliberate, measured. The crowd scrambled backward, but the beast's attention was fixed on one target. It's not our strength, Arland continued, staggering forward. It's not our weapons or our ships. Fenrir's hackles rose, making him appear even larger. The blue glow of his eyes intensified until it cast shadows across the arena floor. "It's that we love fiercely," Arland said. "And we teach those we love to do the same." The sovereign gestured frantically. Guards poured onto the arena floor, weapons charging, but Fenrir was already moving. A blur of shadow and fury that moved with impossible speed for something so massive. Plasma bolts struck his hide and dissipated like rain on stone. His jaws caught a guard in mid-flight, and the crunch of armor was audible even in the upper tiers. "Stand down!" The sovereign's voice cracked with panic. "Release the human. Release them both." But Fenrir wasn't listening to the sovereign. He was listening to the woman who had sung him lullabies in a language not his own. The woman who had shared her warmth on cold nights. The woman who had chosen compassion when the universe had offered her countless reasons not to. Arland raised her good hand. And despite everything, despite the pain and the fear and the chaos unfolding around them, her voice was gentle. "Fenrir, come." The beast stopped mid-charge. His head turned toward her, those glowing eyes softening in a way that no predators should. In 3 bounds, he was at her side, lowering his massive head so she could rest her hand on his muzzle. "Good boy," she whispered. The Colosseum watched in stunned silence as Captain Arland Voss, bleeding and broken, leaned against the monster that had just torn through their best guards. Fenrir's tail, thick as a tree trunk, curled protectively around her. The sovereign found his voice. You could have killed us all." Arland looked up at him, and in her eyes was something that made the alien ruler step back despite the distance between them. "Yes," she said simply. "That's what you never understood about Earth. We don't just survive, we bond. We love. And there is nothing in this universe more dangerous than someone who has found something worth protecting." She buried.